Okay, amazing. All right, well, DeMarre, Christopher, it's been a long time. How crazy was it that the last time we were together was right before basically the lockdown and everything happened? It's so exciting that AMARE is launching on this. Congratulations. How excited are you that it's finally going to be launched worldwide?
I'm
very
pumped.
ecstatic.
Hit it, bro. Hit it.
You got it, Chris.
All right, I'll go first. Yeah, I'm pumped. It's a lot of work to launch a new brand, and that's what this is. It's a collaboration between DeMarre and myself, but it's also, a new brand in of itself. So we wanted to make sure that we do it right, so that when we start, we're ready to go all the way and do something that we're both proud of.
And DeMarre?
For myself, I'm very excited. I'm actually ecstatic. This is something I dreamed about, growing up. First was being an NBA basketball player, and second was, actually being in the fashion industry, and me meeting Christopher and him really helping me design my brand. A very exclusive brand is amazing, and it's a dream come true.
So DeMarre, let's go back to the beginning. How did the whole concept come about?
Well, actually, when I was playing for Toronto, I met Christopher at one of his fashion shows, fashion parties, and we kind of connected then. And then I kept telling him I was into fashion, and he would look back and forth at my Instagram and see me when I come see him. He was like, "Oh, you actually like fashion?" So, I asked him, could he help me design a brand? And that's what we did. We collabed and got together, and we came up with the AMARE collection.
And Christopher, why did you think this was a good collaboration for the Christopher Bates brand?
Well, I was really drawn to DeMarre as an individual, and also as like a style icon. I mean, all you have to do is take one look at his Instagram feed, and you'll realize that he's really into fashion. And I mean that like all the way. Like it's so great to see. And he also has great style and great taste, and he's bold. And I think that's really rare, is when you can find someone that can be bold, but it still looks, put together. It still looks polished, professional. It looks slick. So that's really exciting for me to partner with somebody like that in the industry. So that's why we came together, and that's why we created the brand that we did.
And DeMarre, obviously what Christopher just said, you have a very distinct style. You're obviously super fashionable. Was having a fashion line something that you've always wanted, or was always in the future for you?
Yeah, it was always in the future. I felt like if it wasn't basketball, fashion was going to be my next thing. Growing up, my mother always put in my head that I represent her when I go out. I represent my family whenever I step out. So I always try to dress to impress. That's my biggest thing. And fashion has always been key for me. Even takes me a couple of hours just to kind of get an outfit together. It's been one of those things I grew up loving, and I'm just ecstatic to be a part of this brand.
So then, DeMarre, how did you work with Christopher on developing the specific style of AMARE?
Well, to be quite honest, me and Christopher, I kind of put my little 10 cents in, and he's the big designer, and so I kind of let him kind of lead me down the path where I can have a really authentic brand, something that can, be worth something. And, we put our heads together, Christopher, we put our heads together, and we came up with a design that was kind of like my kind of ideal, kind of being out there, and, and his kind of style with the subtle style. So we kind of meshed it together and came up with this brand.
So Christopher, this is obviously different from what we usually see from Christopher Bates, athleisure. What was it like doing something like this, something a little different from what you're used to?
Yeah, it was nice to work with DeMarre, because I was able to do something that's a little bit different than the Christopher Bates brand, which is, like DeMarre said, it's a little bit more subtle, it's understated, it's kind of like Italian, Scandinavian style. Whereas with DeMarre, we really wanted to do something more bold and something in the athleisure market. So he was more involved in the process than he gives himself credit for. I mean, he was involved in the, in choosing the color palette, all of the fabrics, like everything went through him. Like I would find certain things and then I'd be like, hey, what do you think about this? What do you think about this? And then also with each of the designs, we presented lots of different options and then he would choose, okay, I like this. And what about this? And some of the pieces, came from my mind, things that I thought he would like, but he also came up with things on his own, like the AMARE logo jumper. That was something that we both think is one of the strongest pieces in the collection now. So we started with the AMARE logo jumper, we did the AMARE logo pants, and that creates like a really strong look in of itself, and something that I think really speaks to DeMarre's personal style.
So this really was then a collaborative process. It sounds like you guys really like bounced ideas off each other and worked together to make something that was like Christopher Bates, but also DeMarre Carroll.
Yeah. I mean, it's at the end of the day, this is his brand. I mean, I'm involved for sure, but he is the brand ambassador for this. I mean, it's so his style. When he wears it, it just looks right. It looks awesome. When I wear it, it's a bit of a stretch. I love it, but I can't pull it off as well. I admit it. We'll see future collections. Anyway, no, I love the stuff and I do wear it. It's extremely comfortable. That's something that I want to draw attention to, is that we used really high-end materials. So they look, slick and polished, but they're also just extremely comfortable. And that's really important nowadays.
So DeMarre, what sets AMARE apart from any other brands or lines we're seeing out there?
I think the biggest thing that set AMARE apart is, like Christopher said, to piggyback on what he said, is the texture, how comfortable the brand is. You can wear in different atmospheres. You can wear, maybe going to brunch, maybe going to the gym, maybe even going to a party. It's that type of texture and type of brand that I wanted to be worn with different styles, even females can wear it. I think it's one of those things I just want everybody to wear it. And we really put our brain together to try to come up with it.
Well, I love it. I wore it, and as a female, I would 100% wear it. For both of you, DeMarre, you can start. Which piece from the collection would be your ultimate favorite or your go-to?
Christopher knows my piece. Ask him which my favorite piece. I told him that should be the flagship piece.
Yeah, it's the AMARE logo jumper. So it's a really clean, black like hoodie, and then it has the AMARE logo running up the sleeve, across the chest, and then down the other sleeve. So it's a really unique way of applying the logo, and because the logo is so comfortable, you end up with a repetitive multicolor print in sort of an atypical position across the sweater. So it's bold, it's different, it's cool. I think it's totally DeMarre.
And Christopher, would you say that's your favorite piece as well?
It's one of my favorites, but I also like the red jumpsuit. It reminds me of Deadpool. It's super cool. The t-shirts that we did are really the t-shirts are really cool as well. Like there's one that is charcoal black and that has a hexagon print with red hexagons on the shoulder panels. And that fabric is actually a silk cotton blend. So when you wear it, it just feels so good, and of course it looks, quite particular as well. It has the AMARE logo on the sleeve. So that's actually the piece that I wear the most in the collection.
So when you guys were putting this all together and having this collection come together, who would you say would be your target audience? DeMarre?
My target audience would definitely be my, fellow professional athletes. I feel like those guys will really get good wear out of my brand, just because of how it feels, going from airplane city to city. You can throw this on at any time. You can even throw it on to go to the game. So I think that is really kind of my target Christopher might have some other people in mind, but I think that's my target.
Yeah, I think that I think athleisure is sort of reached to the mainstream now. So this is really for anyone who's into like the more luxury athleisure. So the styling is a little bit bolder, the materials are different. The materials are really high end, and the product itself is proudly made in Italy at a factory that specializes in working with these type of jersey fabrics. So, you know, the price point is a little bit higher, say, than, you know, a typical athleisure, like a mainstream brand, but the quality is vastly different. The materials and the construction make it a very unique product. Like, we're combining a high fashion, like designer style with athleisure. And that's something that makes the brand, you know, a little bit different and a little bit, you know, more like more interesting, I think, for the discerning consumers.
So obviously we're launching worldwide, which is so exciting. Where do we see the future of this brand growing? Where do we see like the next collection, the next collection?
I mean, you already said worldwide. I mean, that is our goal, is to be a global luxury athleisure brand. You know, to start, DeMarre has a great presence in the US and also in Canada, and myself in Canada as well. So, you know, we anticipate the US and Canada being our strongest market to start, but definitely we're going to be pushing out to, you know, other markets in Europe and Asia and the Middle East. So, you know, we're just going to, you know, push as far as we can. And a lot of the sales we're doing to start is going to be online through our site, shop.amare.com. And through that site, we do ship worldwide. So, you know, this is a great introduction to the market for us.
I can't wait to see everybody decked out in AMARE when we're walking down the street. It's so nice to talk to you guys again, and hopefully next time it's not over Zoom and it's in person. So.
For sure. Thanks, Laura.
Thank you, Laura.